Hey everyone, welcome back to Mr. Praviti's Cinematic Universe. Today we're going to learn how to use a compass and straight edge, most importantly a compass, as well as a blotter, but that's not much to learn. What we're going to do is we're going to be constructing lines, circles, segments, and their copies or bisectors, doing it the way that the ancients did it. I'm going to explain what each of these terms mean and show you how to construct them using the tools at our disposal. So, things you're going to need: a compass, not like the thing that tells north-south, like one of these that is used to draw a circle, and I'll show you how it's used. You're going to need a straight edge, which is anything with a straight edge, so this could be a straight edge, or you are going to use probably a ruler for your straight edge. Just something with a straight edge. And a blotter, which all this is a set of thick paper that you can use to make sure that your compass, which is very sharp, does not stab through all the paper. Anything that will stop it from stabbing through is fine. We don't really need this part, it's just very helpful for us, practically speaking. What are we going to learn today? We're going to learn how to construct a line or a segment. We're going to learn how to construct a circle using a compass. Then we're going to learn how to copy a segment and bisect that segment. Bisect means to cut in half. We'll come back to that later. And we're going to learn how to copy and bisect an angle. So let's get started. So we'll start off with a segment. In order to make a segment, first I need to make sure that my paper is thick and set up. If you're doing this in a notebook, I recommend putting the paper underneath the notebook page. Put it underneath the notebook page. If this is your notebook page, put all the paper under there, and then you have something that you can stab through and you won't hit the rest of your notes. I'm just going to do it straight on the blotter here. So any line segment or line can be constructed using 2 points. So I'll start off with 1 point and another point. And go figure, I use my straight edge to connect the 2 dots. As you can see, I'm trying to make sure that I'm only half covering the points. I don't have it out here. I don't have it like this. I have it so that I'm half covering both the points, not fully covering, just half covering. And then I take my straight edge, aligned that way, put my pencil on top of it, and go from one point to the other. You'll see I overshot this time. If I only want that segment, I'll just erase the part that goes past. And that's how you construct a segment. If you want a full line, then just make it continue as far as you want. You can make it go further out like that. That'd be a ray. Line segments, rays, lines can all be constructed using the straight edge. Pretty simple. Next, we're going to go through how to make a circle from this. So let's say I have 2 points and I want to make a circle out of it. Here's 1 point and another point, and I want to make a circle. You're going to use your compass tool, and here's what you'll do. Align, you can move this. Align it so that this tip, the sharp one, be very careful with the sharp tip, is right on the center, where you want the center of the circle to go. And then the other should be where you want the edge of the circle to go. And then I'm gonna move my paper around like this, sliding it along. You can see it's nice and light, that's perfectly fine. You can always thicken it in later, and you've got a perfect circle. Centered where this goes, and the edge where the pencil goes. And if you want to make it thicker, you can go over it once more, possibly the opposite way, and you'll get a hang of this just practicing, trying to make it as thick or thin as you want. And that's how you make a circle. Now we're going to learn how to take a segment and copy it. So let's say I start off with a segment. There's my original segment, and I just want to make a copy of that segment. I want a perfect copy. I don't want something that is longer or shorter, the exact same length as that. Well, I'm going to start off by putting a point wherever I want my copy to start. There we go. Take my compass, and arrange it so that it perfectly fits on the edge of that. See how I draw like a little bit of the circle here? We call this an arc. And I make sure that that edge of the arc goes through the other thing. What I'm doing is I'm just making a section of a circle. Now I make sure not to change the size of this. These are now the right distance apart. Put my center point on the center, draw another arc. And then I just connect my point to my arc. I can be sure that these two are the same length since they're both the same radius of the circle made by this compass. So that is a copy of that segment, and we can be sure they are the exact same length. Next, we want to bisect the segment. If we want to bisect it, what we're going to do is create what we call a perpendicular bisector. I'm going to write that word down here for us. Perpendicular bisector. Let's talk what that word means. Perpendicular means at 90 degrees. Bisector means to cut in half. So let's put that here. This means 90 degrees. Bisector means in half, meaning two equal parts. 90 degrees in half. All right, so how do I construct a perpendicular bisector? I take my compass and I start by drawing a circle that it's got to be at least halfway. I draw a portion of a circle. I don't need to draw the entire thing, just a portion enough here is good. And then I take the exact same size, make sure not to change the size, and draw the circle on the other end. See how I now have 2 points of intersection. Where they cross, I can now create new points at those points of intersection. Draw the segment between those. And we now have a perpendicular bisector to our original segment. You'll notice it cuts straight through the middle, meaning this length and this length from here to here and from here to here are equal. And it's 90 degrees at all 4 angles. That is a perpendicular, 90 degrees, bisector. Now we are 7 minutes in. I think we'll save for one more video. I'm gonna add in copying and bisecting an angle.